Hi everybody, it's February 3rd, 2025, and I'm just coming back from another court appearance of my vicious Catholic nun sister dragged me into court after my brother died to have me declared a vexatious litigant, her and her lying lawyers. So I've been posting these videos as a way of dealing with the trauma of watching my little brother, it's Paul Kierans, 64, with Down syndrome, be locked up by Devid and the BC New Democratic Party government for 588 days, and then he died, or he was killed by Burnaby Hospital at my sister's direction. So Paul was locked up. We've lived near each other for 35 years, and we had a twice weekly agreement for visits. They terminated my visits when I reported the fraudulent and forged power of attorney the government created to give my brother the COVID-19 shot. And so I complained to the Burnaby RCMP, and the Burnaby RCMP, instead of, they said that they were going to get the original of the document and interview the witnesses. My brother, I could see it was a forgery because I taught Paul to print the only word he could print, which was his first name. So anyways, the Burnaby RCMP on August 26th of 2022 said they would subpoena the original document, the original power of attorney, and interview the witnesses, but instead the constable went and tipped off the group home and the government terminated my visits with Paul. And I fought to the Supreme Court of Canada twice, trying to just restore our visits. I was the last surviving family member and visitor. So he was locked up in his L'Arche, L''ARCHE group home for 588 days until he fell or had some kind of, he was hit. He had a wound on the side of his head. I was told that he had a stroke, but he could have been injured. He had a wound oozing blood on the side of his head. And they would only let me visit him for 10 minutes a day when he was in Burnaby Hospital. When the government appointed my 82-year-old Catholic nun sister 4,000 kilometers away in Ontario as Paul's substitute decision maker and guardian. And when the nun found out on April 21st of 2024 that the RCMP had been ordered by Ottawa to reopen the investigation into the fraudulent and forged power of attorney, she had him killed. So Paul he seemed to be recovering from this brain incident. He squeezed my hand when I said my name. He sat up, he grabbed a book from my hand and turned the pages perfectly. But when the nun found out that the RCMP in BC and Burnaby had been ordered by Ottawa to reopen the investigation into her, she had his oxygen mask removed and had him sedated to death. I believe he appeared to me to be sedated to death. All of this is on the record. He was struggling to recover. Paul loved life. He wanted to live. He just wanted a chance. And that evil Ontario nun just wasn't going to let that happen. So after he died, she brought on an application to take away all the rest of my rights. So she took away all his civil rights. And after he died, then she wanted to move on to me and take away all my rights. And they set down a 5-day hearing in Supreme Court. And I'm limited to 2 hours per day in court by my cardiologist. I had a heart attack in 2016. And the judge, Judith Hoffman, when my 2 hours were up on the second day, she said, "Oh, can't you just sit in the gallery?" So Paul never had a lawyer. He was never allowed to have a lawyer. I never had a lawyer. I was never allowed to have a lawyer. But when they're bringing on an application to take away all my civil rights, this judge says, "Can't you just sit in the gallery?" Like she wanted to risk me having a heart attack. She was like, challenge me, "Yeah, go ahead. You have a heart attack right in front of me. Just do it." It's the worst miscarriage of justice in British Columbia history. So we went before the registrar this morning, and they're hearing of my appeal of my designation as a vexatious litigant, and he had this look in his, he had a gleam in his eye like they're going to fix my little red wagon. He just couldn't wait. He couldn't wait. And I said, well, I'm not in any rush. I want to do this right. I'm looking for a lawyer. But no, he was going to have it done real quick. This was an embarrassment. He didn't like when I said this is the worst miscarriage of justice in Canadian history. So the hearing, my appeal of the designation of me as a vexatious litigant, which means I can't defend myself from anybody can just take pot shots at me, and all my civil rights are taken away. The normal civil rights of any human being have been taken away by the Catholic Church. I estimate the Catholic Church has spent $1 million, of which I'm a member. It has spent $1 million fighting my attempts to free my brother and let him have visits with me. So the hearing is set now, and at the end of the hearing, if you're a lawyer, you'll understand, the registrar said to the evil nun's lawyer, Casey Deanshaw, who's hopefully he'll end up in jail when this is all through. But anyways, he said, oh, and Mr. Deanshaw, you can draft the order. So it's my appeal, so I'm supposed to draft the order. But he was so dismissive and disrespectful of me that he invited my sister's lawyer to draft the order from the hearing this morning, which is the ultimate slap in the face. So that's where we're at. And Trump is still trying to annex Canada. Trump made this meme when he was offering to annex Canada. He made a meme of him standing in front of the Matterhorn, the Swiss Matterhorn. You know, in Switzerland, it's the most famous peak in the world. He made a meme of himself standing with the Canadian flag in front of the Swiss Matterhorn. He's a geriatric old fool. God, what a mess those Americans have got themselves into. It's all something to do with the Chinese. The Chinese have created this mess. So, but we're going to have to figure our way out of it. But anyway, so my appeal is now set for my appeal of the designation of me as a vexatious litigant, slandering my name. I mean, there just wasn't enough they could do. You know, but when you create a fraudulent and forged power of attorney over a disabled man and he dies, you better do some CYA action real quick, and that's what this is. But thank you so much for everybody that's following along with the story. Please continue to contribute to our GoFundMe account. They haven't stopped. The contributions to my GoFundMe account have stopped, but they haven't. The Catholic Church hasn't. So please click on the link in the description box for this video and kick in a few bucks when you can. Thank you, everybody. It's actually quite beautiful out there. Take care, everybody. Have a wonderful day.